Hello and welcome to a presentation on biofuels. By the end of this discussion, the student must be able to define what is a biofuel and also think about what are the need for biofuels to be used in our regular day-to-day life. So what are biofuels? So by definition is a fuel that contains energy from geologically recent carbon fixation. So what does this mean essentially? So we know that any hydrocarbon fuel in nature is produced from organic matter, and this principally being petroleum. If we talk about petroleum, so that is a hydrocarbon fuel that has been in existence for thousands of years, and this organic matter that has been transformed over time for thousands or even millions of years. So that is an example of a hydrocarbon fuel. But when we understand biofuels, it is a type of hydrocarbon fuel that has been produced in a very short duration of time. So that may be in days or weeks or even months. So petroleum is a non-renewable source of energy and it is a hydrocarbon fuel, whereas biofuel is one kind of fuel where it has been produced in a matter of days, weeks or even months. So these fuels are produced from living organisms, and examples are that this type of carbon fixation occurs in plants and microalgae. So they are derived from biomass conversions. Usually these are plant or plant derived materials, and fuel is produced from renewable biological sources such as plant biomass and treated municipal and industrial waste. So we make use of the waste products of another system to produce a new kind of fuel. And the biomass conversion can give us three kinds of fuels. They are solid, liquid or gaseous form. So as we see in the chart also, from biomass we get a biofuel, and biofuels can be classified as solid biomass, biogas and liquid biofuels. In liquid fuels we have examples bioethanol and biodiesel. Coming to the discussion of why we need biofuels. So I would like to request to pause this video and think about what are some of the probable reasons why biofuels are in demand and what are the usages in spite of having all other sources of energy around us, especially petroleum. So think about it, and later we'll continue the video and understand why biofuels are required. Okay, so we were discussing about why biofuels are required. So if we track down some of the possible causes why biofuels are required, so first one is to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. So fossil fuels essentially means the hydrocarbons that were formed over thousands or even millions of years and which are depleting fast and which are non-renewable. As more and more equipments and machines are coming about which work on those fuels, our dependence on them is steadily increasing. So we know that they are non-renewable and they're depleting fast. So that is why we need to reduce our dependence on such fuels. Second is to enhance energy security. With fast depleting resources, we would like to conserve energy or conserve the source of the fuel itself. So that is why biofuels are taken as alternate sources of energy when fossil fuels are not readily available. To reduce reliance on foreign oil, this is particularly essential when we look at the countries which are unable to have petroleum on their own and which need imports to sustain their petroleum devices such as cars or any other equipment. So a country can consider producing biofuels which will eventually replace the dependence on foreign oil imports. The next one is to lower emissions of greenhouse gases. We know hydrocarbons are highly toxic in nature, and even when it is cleaned or distilled to a sufficient degree, lots of emissions are possible through the burning of these fossil fuels, and that is why biofuels come into the picture, wherein the fuels are mixed along with the fossil fuels, and they reduce the greenhouse effect, or the emissions or the toxicity of the entire emissions is reduced. And we have one more reason is to bring business to rural economics. So that is as we had mentioned, that biomass can be produced from solid municipal waste and also the biomass waste that is produced in farmlands and agricultural lands. So this brings about a better business opportunities for rural areas, and it helps in expanding